disturbing trend of targeting pride events following months of anti-LGBTQ rhetoric from right-wing media. Right-wing media has found a new focus for the white nationalist viewers on Twitter in an account called Libs of TikTok. The account was originally on the TikTok platform, but moved to Twitter after being banned in 2020. The page promotes anti-LGBTQ plus videos and content and has been defended by Elon Musk after the creators received threats from people who don't agree with it. It has also been retweeted by media personalities like Joe Rogan, Meghan McCain. Their content has also been used on air by Tucker Carlson, Jesse Waters, Laura Ingraham, and other Fox personalities to feature anti-transgender views. After Libs of TikTok posted about a San Francisco area library hosting a drag story hour, the event was stormed by members of the group Proud Boys. They also tweeted about an event in Idaho called Pride in the Park that made headlines when 31 members of the white nationalist group Patriot Front were arrested while on their way to riot at the event. And this has been a story that's been snowballing for several months now. Wilton Manor City Commission had their final meeting before Pride last night, and I attended. I talked with the Assistant Chief of Police, and I asked him directly, I said, have there been threats like the one that was
West Palm.
in West Palm a couple of weeks ago? And he said there have been no direct threats made against this event, but they're continuing to monitor it. But there's a ton of chatter out there. And the key is to be able to discern what is chatter and what is not. The threat in West Palm Beach had very specific threats. It's going to be very difficult, and the Palm Beach thing involved the FBI, 3 police departments, and a SWAT team and undercover agents out in the area. I can tell you that for our security, they have got they've got blockades that are anti-big vehicles. So like these Patriot Front people were all in a U-Haul that were going to storm the event in Idaho. We have water barricades and things like that. There are 13 cross sections, places of entrance and egress for our Wilton Stonewall Pride. Every single one, both sides of Wilton Drive will be monitored and patrolled by security, as well as having all these barricades. They're doing what they can, and hopefully it will be a very safe weekend.
Well, these right-wing people are screaming hate, and you're going to think that nobody's listening? Of course they're listening. And Meghan McCain, I want to like you. Girl, what is wrong with you? What are you doing retweeting this garbage from these people?
You know, interesting on McCain. I participated in the Diversity Honors event where she was honored for her support of the LGBTQ community. And from that, which I believe was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, it just seems she's gotten worse and worse and worse. Her father's passing, and she's gone off the rails in many ways. I have to say to you, broadly, shame on Twitter. And the reason is because Elon Musk is doing this. I think he's having dramatic influence in decision making, even though he doesn't own it. He's got $1 billion if he withdraws from the offer on what happens there. But shame on Twitter for allowing this kind of hate speech.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, for me, and I've told this story so many times, I apologize, but I'm going to tell the same story again. I always try to apply a standard on LGBT that if you remove the LGBT and inserted, what conclusion would you come to? If you had the kind of threats that we would hear from Coeur d'Alene or this drag queen story hour issue in the San Francisco Bay Area, and that was black, it would be unquestionably a hate crime. If you used N-word relation of storming a library and went into the library and spoke in that way, that would be a hate crime.
Yep.
If you stormed a Jewish synagogue at a service doing anti-Semitic chants or signs, that would be a hate crime, and the FBI would get involved in it. It seems to me that's exactly what we're watching. And for Twitter to go free speech, that's not true. We don't have that standard of absolute free speech. You can't yell in a fire. And as it relates to minority issues like black and Jewish, you cannot do that. Twitter, you just are going far too far, and you are helping to enable a January 6th type of event that is potential in the future.
And it's really it's on us. We have to be extra vigilant this weekend. I mean, I'm vigilant. I'm always looking over my shoulder anyway. But this weekend, we have to really be on guard.
See something, say something.
Absolutely.
And that's a great point, because Coeur d'Alene, I've been to Coeur d'Alene in Idaho. It's a beautiful community. This was, for all intents and purposes, a picnic in a park. It's a small town. That was their Pride Festival, and it was disrupted of what these white nationalists coming from 12 states. Why in the world would you come from Tennessee to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, to disrupt a picnic, which is what they did? They all gathered in a U-Haul truck like they were the Keystone Cops or clowns at the Ringling Circus that are going to pour out of the U-Haul. That was all disrupted by one person who called 911 and said, "These people look very strange to me. It looks like an army." She saw no guns, and as far as we know, there were no guns present, but it looks strange to me. That tip led to these arrests.
And that's enough. If
That's
you think
enough.
it's just out of context, or you just make, women, we got that sixth sense, right? When you sit on your uncle's lap and it's a little weird, right? That sixth sense. Okay, if you have that sixth sense about anything going on, tell somebody. That's it.
And who would have thought that drag shows would get so much publicity on Fox News? I think it's great. So this weekend for Father's Day or Juneteenth, look up your local drag show and take your dad to a drag show. I'm sure he'll love it.
We reported, by the way, on Queer News Tonight last night, Laura Ingram did a story 2 nights ago on RuPaul's Drag Race, on Laura Ingram, talking about this new drag queen that was on the show, Nancy Pelosi.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Laura, for helping to promote RuPaul's Drag Race.
Absolutely.
We love it. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the